The goal of Tesla has always been to make the world's most useful car. Not the fastest, not the prettiest, the most useful. And I think the Cybercab is the closest thing we've ever built to that. That was Elon Musk talking not about some distant concept or a mood board slide. He was talking about a car that Tesla is currently building right now in 2026 that doesn't have a steering wheel, doesn't have pedals, and is targeting a price tag of around $30,000. A fully autonomous vehicle, no driver required, ever. But here's the part that makes this genuinely controversial. Tesla has promised fully autonomous driving before, multiple times, and every single time the deadline slipped. So the question isn't just, is the Cybercab impressive? The question is this actually real? And if it is, what does it mean for the rest of us? Let's find out. Today, we're doing a full deep dive on the Tesla Cybercab, including the confirmed production timeline and target launch date, the $30,000 price target and what that actually means for ownership costs, the Robotaxi business model Tesla is betting its future on, the full autonomous technology stack behind the car, the regulatory and safety challenges Tesla still needs to clear, community debate around whether this is genius or vaporware, and what real-world analysts are saying whether any of this actually makes financial sense. Welcome to Road Zone Reviews. Let's get into it. Let's start where everyone always starts, the price. Tesla has confirmed a target retail price of around $30,000 for the base Cybercab. To put that into perspective, that is roughly the price of a mid-range Toyota Camry. It's cheaper than the base Model 3. For a fully autonomous, driverless electric vehicle, that is an extraordinary number. But Tesla isn't necessarily building this car for you to own in the traditional sense. The Cybercab is designed from the ground up around a Robotaxi model, meaning Tesla's vision is that most Cybercabs will operate in a shared autonomous fleet, earning revenue by transporting passengers, while the owner or Tesla itself manages the network. Here's what the numbers look like, at least on paper. Target retail price, around $30,000. Estimated cost per mile, Robotaxi operation, around 20 cents to 25 cents US. Current Uber/Lyft average cost per mile, around $1.50 to $2.50 US. Tesla's projected fleet earnings per vehicle per year, $30,000 to $40,000 US, claimed. Estimated payback period at projected earnings, under 12 months. Now, Tesla's internal projections are almost certainly optimistic. Utilization rates, maintenance costs, insurance, local regulations, all of these can eat into that margin significantly. But even under conservative assumptions, the math is genuinely disruptive if Tesla can actually execute. And that's the big if that we're going to come back to. There is something almost poetic about the way Tesla has positioned the Cybercab. For over 100 years, the car has been defined by a single thing, a human behind the wheel. The steering wheel isn't just a control mechanism, it's a cultural artifact. It represents freedom, control, identity. Entire industries, insurance, road design, traffic law, parking infrastructure are built around the assumption that a human is driving. The Cybercab throws all of that out. It has no steering wheel, no pedals, no controls at all for a human driver, because Tesla is making the deliberate statement that there is no longer a role for one. Musk has described the Cybercab as the product that will define Tesla's third act, after the Roadster proved EVs could be exciting, and after the Model 3 proved they could be mainstream. If those first two chapters were about convincing the world that electric vehicles were worth having, the Cybercab is Tesla's argument that privately owned, human-driven cars are the past. Whether you find that exciting or deeply unsettling probably depends on how much you enjoy driving. But either way, this is the bet Tesla has placed. So what do we actually know about what's under the hood, or in this case, what's not under the hood? The Cybercab is a two-seater with no front trunk, frunk, no traditional dashboard, and a design built entirely around passenger comfort during autonomous travel. Think of it less like a sports car and more like a private pod with wheels. Here are the confirmed and estimated specs as of early 2026. Seating capacity, 2 passengers. Estimated range, around 250 to 300 miles per charge. Charging method, inductive or wireless, no plug port confirmed. Drivetrain, single rear motor, rear-wheel drive. Top speed, estimated, around 130 miles per hour. 0 to 60, estimated, around 4 seconds. Battery capacity, estimated, around 65 to 75 kilowatt hours. Autonomous system, full self-driving, FSD, hardware 4/AI 5 chip. External cameras, 8 plus additional forward radar. One of the most talked about design choices is the inductive or wireless charging system. Tesla appears to be designing Cybercab hubs where cars pull in, park over a charging pad, and charge automatically without any human intervention. That's essential for a Robotaxi model where you can't rely on someone to plug the car in. But wireless charging has historically been less efficient than plug-in charging, typically around 85 to 90% efficiency versus over 95% for a cable. At scale, that loss adds up. Now here is where things get genuinely fascinating and genuinely complicated. The Cybercab runs on Tesla's full self-driving system, which has been in development in various forms since around 2016. But the version that will power the Cybercab is a fundamentally different animal from the one early FSD users experienced. Tesla calls its current approach a pure vision system. Unlike competitors such as Waymo, which use a combination of cameras, radar, and LiDAR, those spinning laser sensors you've seen on the roof of robotaxis, Tesla has doubled down on cameras alone as the primary sensing method, combined with an onboard neural network that processes the camera feed in real time. The argument Tesla makes is that humans navigate the world with 2 eyes, no LiDAR, no radar. If you can train a neural network on enough video from enough drivers in enough situations, eventually the AI becomes better than any human driver. And Tesla has a data advantage here that nobody else can match. Tens of billions of miles of real-world driving data collected from its existing fleet. The hardware running this system in the Cybercab is Tesla's AI 5 chip, a custom-designed processor that represents a significant leap over the Hardware 3 chip in older Teslas. For reference, Hardware 3 processing power, 144 TOPS, tera operations per second. Hardware 4 processing power, around 1,000 TOPS. AI 5 chip processing power, estimated, around 3,000 to 5,000 TOPS. That is a massive leap. And it's necessary because fully unsupervised autonomous driving requires an enormous amount of real-time computation to be genuinely safe across all road conditions. Here is the part of the Cybercab story that doesn't get enough attention and that keeps a lot of serious analysts up at night. Building a car with no steering wheel is, in most U.S. states, currently illegal. Federal vehicle safety standards, the rules that govern what a car is allowed to be, were written with a human driver in mind. A steering wheel, brake pedal, and accelerator are not optional suggestions, they are regulatory requirements. Tesla has been pursuing exemptions from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, to allow the Cybercab to operate without these controls. As of early 2026, that process is ongoing. Tesla is also working at the state level, where autonomous vehicle regulations vary enormously. California, Texas, and Arizona have relatively permissive frameworks. Other states are far more restrictive. Internationally, the picture is even more complex. The EU's vehicle safety framework does not currently accommodate fully driverless vehicles in most member states. China, which is a major Tesla market, has its own autonomous vehicle approval process that Tesla must navigate separately. Then there's the liability question. When a driverless Tesla Cybercab is involved in an accident, And statistically, in a fleet of thousands of vehicles, some accidents will happen. Who is responsible? The passenger? Tesla? The fleet operator? Legal frameworks for this are still being written in real time. Tesla has consistently argued that its FSD system is statistically safer than a human driver based on miles per incident data. That argument may well be correct, but statistically safer on average and safe enough to operate without a human who can intervene are different standards, and regulators are rightly cautious about the gap between them. So when is this actually happening? Tesla has confirmed that Cybercab production is targeted to begin in 2026 at its Gigafactory, Texas facility. The initial production target is relatively modest, a few thousand units in the first wave, primarily destined for Tesla's own Robotaxi pilot programs in Austin, Texas, and potentially one or two other approved markets. Full-scale public availability is not expected until 2027 at the earliest, and that assumes regulatory approvals come through on schedule. Here's how the current roadmap looks. Cybercab design reveal, October 2024, completed. Production start, target, mid-2026. First Robotaxi pilot launch, Austin, Texas, late 2026, projected. Consumer purchase availability, target, 2027. Full regulatory approval, U.S., estimated 2027 to 2028. One important note, Tesla has previously announced delivery timelines that slipped significantly. The original Roadster was announced in 2017 and still hasn't shipped as of 2026. The Semi missed its targets by years. Analysts tracking Tesla delivery accuracy suggest adding at least 12 to 18 months to any public timeline Musk announces as a conservative base case. With that said, the Cybercab appears to be further along in genuine production preparation than either of those projects were at comparable stages. Tesla is not walking into an empty market. The autonomous vehicle space has some serious players, and one of them has a substantial head start. Waymo, owned by Alphabet, Google's parent company, is the most operationally mature robotaxi service in the United States. As of early 2026, Waymo is running fully driverless paid rides in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Austin. It has logged tens of millions of autonomous miles commercially and has an unblemished safety record across its driverless fleet. Here's how they compare on key dimensions. Waymo Sensor Suite, LiDAR plus radar plus cameras, sensor fusion. Tesla Cybercab Sensor Suite, cameras only, pure vision. Waymo operational cities, early 2026, 4 U.S. cities. Waymo rides completed, cumulative, 10 million. Waymo vehicle cost, estimated, $150,000 to $200,000 per unit. Tesla Cybercab target cost, roughly $30,000. Waymo fleet size, estimated 2026, approximately 1,500 vehicles. Cruise, GM, operations suspended pending regulatory review. Baidu Apollo, China, running commercially in multiple Chinese cities. The core Tesla argument against Waymo is economic. Waymo's vehicles cost 5 to 7 times more to produce. That limits how fast they can scale. If Tesla can actually deliver a safe, reliable autonomous vehicle at $30,000, the economics of fleet operation become incomparably better. The counterargument is equally simple. LiDAR provides a kind of redundancy that cameras cannot replicate in edge cases. Unexpected objects, unusual lighting, road conditions the neural network hasn't seen before. Waymo's approach is more expensive, but it may be more robust in the rare scenarios that are most dangerous. Both arguments have merit, and the market will ultimately decide which one was right. Communities, because this is where the real debate lives. Over on r/self-driving cars and r/Tesla Motors, the arguments are sharp and they are not unified. Here's a representative cross-section of what the community is saying. From a user called Tesla Owner since 2018, I drove a Waymo in San Francisco last month. Smooth, safe, impressive.
but the car cost more than my house to build. Tesla at $30,000 changes the entire math. Scale is the only thing that matters in this business. A skeptic from r/electric vehicles pushed back hard. I've heard Tesla say fully autonomous is 1 year away, literally every year since 2016. At some point, the repeated delays aren't a sign of caution, they're a pattern. Show me a driverless Cybercab completing a trip in downtown San Francisco in the rain without a safety driver. Then I'll believe it. The physics and engineering side of the debate is equally active. On the vision versus LiDAR question, a user with a background in computer vision argued, Tesla's vision-only approach is theoretically sound, but theoretically sound and certified safe to operate with a passenger and no fallback are different standards. Waymo's redundancy isn't inefficiency, it's the margin of safety that makes regulators comfortable. Tesla is asking regulators to trust a system with no fallback. That is a genuinely harder sell. On the financial projections, the $30,000 to $40,000 annual earnings figure Tesla is projecting per vehicle assumes high utilization, probably 12 to 15 hours of active passenger time per day. Real-world robotaxi fleets don't achieve that level. Waymo's actual utilization numbers are well below that level. Tesla's math is theoretically possible, but requires near-perfect operational conditions. And from a thread on r/investing, Tesla's valuation has always been built on a future that hasn't arrived yet. The Cybercab is the biggest test of that thesis in the company's history. If they get this right, regulatory approval, safety record, fleet launch, the upside is generational. If they don't, the credibility damage will be severe. So, where does all of this leave us? Let's be honest about what we know and what we don't. What we know, Tesla has a physical Cybercab that is operational. Production has been confirmed at Gigafactory, Texas. The AI-5 chip represents a genuine leap in onboard processing power. Tesla's FSD system has improved dramatically over the past 24 months, significantly faster than most analysts expected. Regulatory conversations with NHTSA are active and ongoing. What we don't know is whether regulators will approve driverless operation at scale and when, whether Tesla's camera-only approach is genuinely robust enough in the edge cases that matter most, whether real-world fleet economics will match Tesla's internal projections, and whether the production timeline will hold. The honest answer is that the Cybercab is the most credible Tesla has ever been about a product this ambitious, and it still carries meaningful execution risk. These are not mutually exclusive things. What seems clear is this: if Tesla delivers the Cybercab on its stated timeline at its stated price with genuine Level 4 autonomous capability, it will be one of the most consequential product launches in automotive history, not just for Tesla, for every car company, every insurance company, every cab and rideshare service on the planet. And if it doesn't, well, the community debate will keep running for another few years, and we'll be back here covering the next timeline update. So here's the question I want you to answer in the comments below. Do you think the Tesla Cybercab will be operating commercially at scale, real rides, real passengers, no safety driver, by the end of 2027? Drop your prediction down there. I read every single comment, and I want to know what this community thinks. Thanks for watching today's video. We put a lot of work into breaking down the full picture on the Cybercab, the specs, the economics, the competition, and the community debate. So if you found that useful, hitting the like button genuinely helps this channel reach more people and keeps us making videos like this one. Subscribe now so you don't miss our next update, because we have a major Tesla video dropping in just 2 days, and trust me, you don't want to be late to that one. Hit the notification bell so it comes straight to you. If you want to go deeper on Tesla's full 2026 lineup, from the Roadster to the Semi to what's coming next for the Model Y, the links are right there in the description. And if you've got thoughts, questions, or you just want to argue about LiDAR in the comments, we are absolutely here for it. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.